what good is getting abstinent if there's not a community you can
Right.
rejoin? Where's the life worth living here? So she founded this organization based in at enhancing recovery and really helping people recover through connection. And so as she was growing this organization, as a friend and a neuroscientist, she would come to me and tell me what she was doing. And I'd say, well, that's not really how addiction works, or, really the way that this happens is this way, or if you're talking to these people, you might want to use this language. And
Mhm.
so I got involved on that level, and eventually got asked to be on the board of directors. And in the meantime, I was in a postdoc at the University of Pennsylvania, studying means of inducing plasticity in brains using non-invasive brain stimulation. And so things like magnetic pulses and electrical fields. And the insight that I was taking away from that phase that kind of came in was that what a person is doing when their brain is being stimulated to become more plastic
Mhm.
really determines what the effects are of that stimulation.
Oh.
So it's not just so it's important. What that really kind of the piece that brought to my attention is that when you're trying to change how brains are operating and you're inducing plasticity, it's really important not just what intervention you're giving, but what the context is of the person, what's going on in that person's brain, what experiences are active in that person's neurology while they're receiving that intervention. There's a high. I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's a high that comes from connecting with another human being deeply.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
And you notice this because you can have great conversations, but every now and then I think we all have this conversation where we walk away and we feel elated and we feel seen. And I mean, even talking about it right now, I'm noticing a lightness in my chest. I'm noticing chills going down my arms. It's this just feeling of truth. And it feels a little bit like certain substances feel. Um,
Mhm.
and so it's definitely activating this aspect of my reward system when I can connect with you, or when I can even connect with an audience, but really with another person
Right.
um, in this way, it feels amazing. And so you can imagine that feeling. There's some oxytocin, some opioid signaling, and some in relation to both of those systems, some dopamine system. I shouldn't say dopamine system, really. I prefer to talk about them in terms of the functions of the circuits themselves. But dopamine is involved in this reward and this plasticity. And as it's active, what's happening is any habits I'm trying to change right now, any behaviors I'm practicing, anything that I'm doing that I'm trying to rewire my brain to not have this habitual response to this kind of a cue, for instance, it's really relevant to addiction. All of a sudden, I've got this reward system that's now aligned and supporting me in that, instead of trying to do that from a state of craving, which
Right.
um, doesn't seem to work. We can help people. We can almost train people in a way to be abstinent, but the experience of having cravings go away, the experience of finding yourself neutral around a drug that you were bonded to in a really strong way, um, is often perceived as something that just happens. Um, and in the 12-step model, a spiritual experience and a spiritual awakening explains
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
Um, I suspect, is also something about the type of connection that we're cultivating that has a similar effect on the brain.
Hello, this is Lynn Fraser with the Kiloby Center Radical Recovery Summit. We are so excited to bring you the lineup for January 10th to 19th, 2020. Go to radicalrecoverysummit.com to see the new headliners for 2020 and to sign up. You can watch free January 10th to 19th or buy an all access pass.